Hey, it's Chris Lewit here, Elite Junior Development Coach and coach of many #1 players in the United States. Jump on the court with me now and let's check out the secrets to the slice backhand. So I'm here with my student Sophia, and Sophia and I know each other really well. We train together. We've trained for 2 years now together, and she's got a great game. She's 10 years old, and we haven't worked too much on the slice. Have you done a lot of slice with me, or just a little bit?
Just a little.
Yeah. And what do you think about the slice compared to your two-handed backhand? Does you feel confident in your slice, or is it
I feel
difficult
more
for you?
confident with my backhand.
Yeah, and I think that's common for most kids and most adults too. They feel more comfortable with their topspin shot and their drive, and then the slice may not be as comfortable. So let's do some reps on the backhand. We'll talk about the slice, and we'll try to get a lot of repetitions in, and we'll work on the technique a little bit. Let's do a few repetitions and see how you're doing. Okay. Good. What'd you hear there?
Slice.
Yeah, like a really good slice sound. So in my experience, and for people who are watching at home, getting that slice sound can be very challenging, and most people hit their slice too flat. So the fact that you're getting that slice sound is a really good thing.
Yeah.
You want to try to get that slice sound, but also some pace and also some depth on the shot, which is not always easy to do. So you got to get that high to low, that sort of chopping action downward, but also through the ball to get it over the net. And we were talking before when we were hitting that a lot of times the slice is kind of like a drop shot in the beginning for people who are not strong enough or they're still learning the technique. A lot of times the slice will be soft and it'll be kind of floaty and floating like a drop shot. But that's okay. If you can get that sound, I think you're on the way to a great slice. Good. Try to get the space. Nice. You hear it?
Yeah.
I think it probably came out really good on the microphones too, but that was a really good slice sound. And basically what that means is you're getting a lot of backspin. The ball's spinning very quickly backwards. And sometimes that's called RPM, or the spin rate, and you want a high spin rate on your slice. And that is hard for most people to learn, especially beginners or young kids, whether you're a kid or an adult. Yeah, that was probably the best one. You had like a nice slice, and the ball stayed low. On the other side, the ball skidded. That was awesome. Nice. What do you think about like the take back? What do you think about there?
I'm not sure where to put the
Yeah, so there's a lot of ways to do it. When you see the pros now, what's happening on the pro tour is this racket will come all the way around your neck, and it'll actually come on the other side of your body here.
And bring it
So
down.
yeah, so when you see a lot of the top pros, like Federer comes to mind and many other guys, they'll bring the racket and it'll wrap around their neck. And sometimes I call this like a box. You make kind of like a box with your arm and the beginning of the racket. So you have your elbow here, the upper arm, lower arm, and then the racket makes almost like a square here. And you really want to bend this elbow because that gives you more acceleration. You're using your tricep muscle to accelerate along with your shoulder as you're coming down. What a lot of people do is they keep the arm straight. So some people keep the arm straight, and it is possible to hit a straight arm slice, but you don't get as much acceleration because you're not using your tricep, and you're not extending your elbow as you're coming down. So the more you can learn to go around your neck like this and get more like a chopping action like that, it'll give you more of that spin rate that we were talking about. The tricky part is though, when you're first learning, this is harder to do. It's harder to wrap this around your neck and then kind of chop downward. It's easier just to keep the arm straight. And I see that in a lot of players that I coach. They start kind of with a slice, the arm's kind of locked, and they hit a slice with a locked arm. It's very simple to do that, but you don't get a lot of spin. When you bring the racket around here, you can get a much faster racket speed, and you can get more spin rate. This way, come around, and I can get more action on it. Yeah. So that's kind of a few little details there. That last one was beautiful though. Let's go. Good footwork. Okay, no problem. Nice. Did you hear the nice sound?
Yeah.
That sweet slice sound. You can hear the spin, the backward spin. Back up a little, don't crowd me. Nice. Yeah, very good, Sophia. Nice, beautiful. And there you get a nice combination of spin and depth and pace. And that would work, like if you're in a tournament, that would be a pretty good slice at your age. What do you think about the contact point? Where should the contact point be?
Here?
Yeah, far away from your body. Usually you don't want to get cramped up. You don't want to get in here.
Yeah.
Unless you're hitting a specialty slice. There is a specialty slice where you come inside the ball and you get side spin and you almost purposely meet the ball a little closer to your body, but that's something you work on maybe later at a more advanced level. Right now, you just try to get out far away. You stretch out your arm and you want to be fully extended at the impact. What about follow-through? There's a lot of questions about follow-throughs that I get. You know, you're coming around here. Some old school slices go straight through the ball and stop, so it's like a straight line. What you see with a lot of modern slices is the racket comes down and across and low. So the follow-through actually goes down and across and low. Like Federer is very well known for that. And so the finish is actually lower and across the body. So you come here and the finish comes down here. Almost, I wrote about this in my new book, that the finish sometimes pointing to the ground looks really wild. Like you'd never used to see that in the old days. The old days used to just kind of go through and stop. And nowadays guys are accelerating like this.
Yeah.
And finishing really abruptly downward and across the body, which is a new phenomenon. Usually at your age, because you're still building up strength in your shoulders and back, the follow-through is a little longer because you may not have the strength to slow down during the deceleration phase of the swing. You may not have enough strength to like keep this from flying away, but try not to let it go too high or too wild. You see a lot of the pros and they'll finish and they'll have a nice stop somewhere in here. They're strong enough to decelerate the racket quickly. If you notice, sometimes your follow-through is flying up and around, you know, so try to keep that follow-through under control. Use your back muscles and your shoulder to help decelerate that racket and keep the racket from flying all over the place so you have it ready for the next shot. Nice, not too high. That's pretty good though.
Yeah.
Some of the best slices I've seen from you. Another question that I get a lot is like, how sideways should I be? In the old days, when people taught the slice, they would tell students to stay completely sideways. So basically to stay side on like this. And your shoulders are opening up. And that's quite common in the modern slice, is the shoulders rotate more and it helps you get a little more acceleration on the ball. So I think it's okay what's happening. Obviously you don't want to open up too much because you can lose control of the shot.
Yeah.
But basically you're opening, I think, just enough and you're getting a really nice racket speed through the ball, good spin. And I wouldn't get too obsessed with staying sideways because that is something that a lot of coaches teach, but I'm not sure is really, if you watch the high-speed video of the pros, a lot of times they will open up a lot more than in past times. Nice, good slice, Sophia. Good. Okay. One thing I would say on one more detail is how do you hold it when you're taking it back? I noticed how you keep both hands low. And do you remember we talked about if you have a two-handed backhand, how you would want to take it back as an advanced player? Do you remember that? So we have a lot of two-handed players now. Most of the top juniors in the world have two hands. Most of the pros have two-handed backhands. And what you see now is people will take it back and they'll take it back with their hands close together rather than a traditional slice, which is up here. Like I happen to have a one-handed backhand, so I prepare my slice with a big separation in my hands. And now, because of the prevalence of the two-handed backhand, a lot of players will start down here. They'll bring the racket back with two hands, and the hands will be close. And then as the racket comes up, they'll make a slide upward. Or they may even not do that. Some players will just go here and slice from here with the hands close together. But you see a trend where the players will disguise the slice. You won't even know it's coming. It looks like a two-handed backhand. looks like a two-hander, and then the last minute they will slide the left hand up, and then they'll slice off of that. And that's a very important detail in modern tennis. So I noticed you keep your hands down here, which is cool. They're pretty close together. You don't have to be forced up here in the beginning because you lose disguise, and also you don't. It's just not a necessary element that you have to do because you do have a two-hander, and you're going to want to eventually take it back with two. You take it back so it's going to look like a topspin, and I work on this with all my students. To take it back, it looks like a topspin, looks like a two-hander, and then the last minute either slide the arm up or just slice from having both hands there on the grip.
Oh.
That's okay, because you want to be able to seamlessly move from the two-hander to the slice, or from the topspin to the slice. For example, a lot of traditional coaches will see players doing that, and they'll say, no, get the hands separated, get the left hand up on the throat. But the way you're doing it is actually the modern way. It's like it's a very cool, cutting-edge way to do it. Keep both hands low, and then maybe separate the hands at the very end. Another good drill that I like is you can just do two-hander with topspin and then a slice, and you can work on that disguise as well. So you just play one topspin shot, and then you play one slice shot, but you try to prepare it the same way. And if you watch like Djokovic, if you watch like Alcaraz, when they do the drop shot or they do a slice, that's what they do. They disguise it really well like that. And they can kind of move very fluidly between two-hander to a slice. You want to develop that. Especially kids, like tournament level kids like your age, they might have a slice, but they're not as confident actually using it in a match. So after you get through the technical part here, you'd like to, practice playing points with the slice. Sometimes we play games where you have to slice your backhand, or to play a match and you have to incorporate your slice backhand to just get over the hurdle of using it. Because a lot of times players are a little bit scared to use it, or they know it's not as good as their two-hander, so that under pressure they'll just go with the topspin. But you want to get literally to the point where if it's a big moment in a match, that you can use the topspin or the slice with equal confidence. And that's hard to do. It's hard to get to that level of slice proficiency. All right, last couple. Beautiful slice. We've done some work on this, and it's coming along. Wow, great, super job. Okay,